Now after oxoacids of sulfur, we have oxoacids of halogens. Now in this halogens means we will be having all the four halides, that is fluorine, chlorine, bromine as well as iodine. Now halogens form several oxoacids, but of them only 4 oxoacids have been isolated in pure form. Those are hypofluorous acid, perchloric acid, iodic acid and metaperiodic acid. These are the only 4 acids which have been isolated, whereas the others are stable only in aqueous solution or in their forms of salts. Now we will one by one see those oxoacids of halogens with the formula, the name, the halogens oxidation state, and the further very important is their structure. So the first we are going to see, that is oxoacids of fluorine. Now very important, fluorine can form only one oxoacid, that is hypofluorous acid. Formula HOF. In this, the fluorine atom, as we have mentioned before, its oxidation state will be -1. The geometry or the structure would be like this, where a central oxygen atom has one hydrogen bond and one fluorine bond. Okay, so this is the only one oxoacid of fluorine possible, hypofluorous acid. Now after the oxoacids of fluorine, the next we have to see, that is oxoacids of chlorine. Now chlorine can combine with oxygen to form 4 types of oxoacids. The first one is hypochlorous acid, having a formula HOCl, where chlorine's oxidation state will be +1. The geometry or the structure would be oxygen at the center, one bond with hydrogen and other bond with chlorine. The next is chlorous acid, having a formula HOClO, or sometimes also it is written as HClO2. Both means the same. In this, chlorine's oxidation state will be +3. For the oxidation state, even if you remember the structure, you could easily write down their oxidation states, or you can remember the formula. Remember very well that halogens, when combines with oxygen, means fluorine, other than fluorine, chlorine, bromine or iodine, when combines with oxygen, their oxidation states are positive. Okay, so in this given structure, we have OH, single bond Cl, double bond O. So you could see that chlorine is having 3 bonds, and that is why its oxidation state is +3. Then the next oxoacid of chlorine we have, that is chloric acid, having a formula HClO3, or sometimes also it is written as HOClO2, where the oxidation state of chlorine is +5, because in this chlorine is having 2 double bond O and 1 single bond OH. So total 5 bonds, and that is why +5. Then the next oxoacid of chlorine we have, that is perchloric acid, having a formula HClO4, which can also be written as HOClO3. In this, its oxidation state is +7, because chlorine is attached to 3 double bond O's and 1 single bond OH. So if you can count the total number of bonds, it has got 7, and that is why the oxidation state of chlorine in this case is 7. Okay, so these are what our oxyacids or oxoacids of chlorine. The next we have is oxoacids of bromine. Bromine can combine to form 3 oxoacids: hypobromic acid, bromic acid and perbromic acid. Hypobromic acid, that is HOBr, which is same as hypochlorous acid and hypofluorous acid. So in this OH and Br, so Br is having 1 bond +1. Bromic acid of the formula HBrO3, or I can also write it as HOBrO2. So in that, Br will be having 2 double bond O and 1 OH. So total 5 bonds, so +5 oxidation state. Next we have perbromic acid, having a formula HBrO4, or also can be written as HOBrO3, where the central bromine is having 3 double bond O and 1 single bond OH. So as it has 7 bonds, its oxidation state will be +7. So these are oxoacids of bromine. The next we have is oxoacids of iodine. hypoiodic acid, iodic acid and periodic acid. Hypoiodic acid, the formula HOI, where definitely O at the center, one single bond H, other single bond I. So as I has got only one bond, its oxidation state will be +1. Then iodic acid HiO3, that can be also written as HOiO2, where I will be having two double bond O and one single bond OH. So because I has got 5 bonds, its oxidation state is +5. Next is periodic acid, that is HiO4, or you can write it as HOI3. So in this, the central I will be having 3 double bond O and 1 single bond OH. So again in this you could see that it has got 7 bonds. So its oxidation state will be +7. Right? So this is what you can understand from the structures. Either you remember the structure and from there you can write down their oxidation state, or you remember the oxidation state and from there you try to write down their structures. So in this, fluorine can form only 1 oxo acids, chlorine can form 4 oxo acids, whereas bromine and iodine can form 3 oxo acids. After doing the oxo acids, the next part we have, that is allotropes. Now allotropes are firstly what? Allotropes are those compounds which are of the same element but their structure is different. Then we call them as allotropes. Sulfur exhibits numerous allotropic forms. However, its 2 allotropes, that is rhombic sulfur, also called as alpha sulfur or alpha form, and the other one is monoclinic sulfur, also called as beta form or beta sulfur. They are the most important allotropes of sulfur. So we are just going to study them. So here I have made a tabular format for you to understand it better. The properties for rhombic sulfur and for monoclinic sulfur. The first one is the color. Rhombic sulfur is pale yellow in color, whereas monoclinic sulfur is bright yellow in color. The shape, as the name suggests, it is orthorhombic crystal, whereas monoclinic, it is needle shaped monoclinic crystals. The melting point, between the two, the melting point is not very much different from each other, but definitely rhombic sulfur's melting point is at a lower range, that is 385.8 Kelvin, whereas monoclinic sulfur is 393 Kelvin. Solubility, rhombic sulfur is insoluble in water but soluble in carbon disulfide, whereas monoclinic sulfur is also soluble in carbon disulfide. Then the next point is their stability, a very important point because in MCQs also this question comes in. That is, rhombic sulfur is stable below 369 Kelvin and it transforms to beta above this temperature, above 369 Kelvin. Okay, below 369 it is stable, whereas above 369 it goes to beta form. So exactly the same you are going to write down here, that is monoclinic sulfur or beta form is stable above 369 Kelvin and transforms into alpha form below this temperature. So 369 Kelvin is taken as a transition temperature. Why it is taken as a transition temperature? Because below this temperature your alpha form is more stable and above that temperature the beta form is more stable. So at this temperature there happens to be a transition of one allotrope of sulfur into other allotrope, and that's why we call it as transition temperature. So that is 369 Kelvin in case of sulfur. Then the next comes is the structure. They both shows us puckered ring structure. Now puckered ring structure, we have done this in our school level where you could see that they result into formation of crown like structure, that is also nothing but called as puckered ring, where all the 8 atoms of sulfur could be seen resembling a crown of queen. So we have also studied sometimes as a crown, whereas sometimes we also read it as a puckered ring structure. Okay, so that is what they can ask us with respect to the allotropes of sulfur. The 2 major allotropes of sulfur, one is rhombic sulfur and other is monoclinic sulfur.